Alright, in this video I want to talk about preterists, and man, these people are annoying. I've been getting some of their comments on my videos, and these people are, just to be blunt, are stupid. They're Bible illiterate, yet they're going out acting as if they know what they're talking about. And just to get the point across is to focus on the mark of the beast. Because these preterists are saying that like the Antichrist already happened and the mark of the beast was already given out. Nero is 666 and his coin with his face on it, that is the mark of the beast. You can't buy or sell without it. And it was like, okay, let's actually look at this here. The mark of the beast, Revelation chapter 13, at verse 16, it says, "And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark and the number of the beast or the number of his name." So, right here we can see that this never happened. There was never a point where somebody would receive a mark in their hand or in their forehead that they needed, and if they didn't have it, they couldn't buy or sell. This has never happened. Not even with Nero. His coin wasn't the mark of the beast. Whoever used his coin was taking the mark of the beast, and now they're damned. As the Revelation says that whoever was taking the mark of the beast were damned. So if you took coins with Nero's inscription on it as payment for your services or for your goods, and then you use that to buy other stuff, you took the mark of the beast? And you're damned? No, you're not. That's ridiculous. The people who take the mark of the beast are damned, and they receive it in their hand or in their forehead. You don't receive coins in your hand, and you definitely don't receive them into your foreheads. Right? Now, all you need to do is focus on this to show the preterists that they're stupid. Because they'll keep going, well, no, it happened. It was this. It was the coin. And it was like, because you receive coins in your hand. It's like, oh. Well, how do you receive that coin into your forehead? And the mark here means basically a branding, an inscription, an insignia saying, I own you, either in your hand or into your forehead. Never happened. But we're gonna show how they're Bible illiterate and why it's annoying talking to them, because they're just full of themselves. Nero was ruler of Rome when Rome was still basically at its height, still very powerful, and it was still together. Right, the minor rebellions that they were putting out and whatnot, especially dealing with Israel. But we read here in Daniel chapter 2 about a prophecy of a statue with a head of gold, chest and arms of silver, belly and thighs of brass, legs of iron, and then feet of iron and clay. And this is successive kingdoms. You got Babylon as the head, the two arms and the chest is Medo-Persia. Then you have Greece being the belly and thighs of brass, and then you have the legs of iron being Rome, and then you have a transition where Rome is mixed with iron and clay. And at the time of Nero, the Roman Empire wasn't split into two legs as of yet, where it had the Eastern and Western Empire. Right? That hasn't happened yet. So to think that the Antichrist already showed up and the mark of the beast already showed up, no, what you've actually saw is types. Like Hitler is a type of Antichrist, where he was putting the Star of David on the Jews and was persecuting them, throwing them in prison, killing them. right? He's not the Antichrist, but he's a type of Antichrist. He even had something wrong with his right arm, because the Antichrist is the false shepherd of Zechariah, with a darkened right eye and a withered right arm, right? That hasn't happened. Nero didn't have a darkened right eye, a withered right arm, right? The mark was not put into anybody's hand or into their forehead. And not only that, but the kingdom of Rome didn't even mix with the clay as of yet. The clay can represent what I see three things, and it could represent all three things, which I think it probably does. Now, the clay can represent God's people. So when Israel said we had no king but Caesar, they started to mingle with Rome, which started the formation of Catholicism, which later in fully brought in, for the most part, Christianity. Again, God's people coming in and mixing in, because just like Israel, even though God didn't want to have a king, they wanted a king, so they ended up making a bishop of bishops into this pope, the Pontiff Maximus, which is the Roman high priest of their pagan religion, and they made him king. And then later on, the Jews see this clay as miry baked clay, so it is Ishmael, and basically the Arab Muslim people in the Middle East, and they are flooding into Europe right now, and they're mingling together. But all these groups don't quite mingle together. They're partly strong, partly weak. They don't quite cleave one to another. That makes sense, right? This is just now starting to happen. And this is when Jesus returns at the time of these kings. Who are these kings? Well, it's these 10 toes. This hasn't been set up as of yet. This is what we come back here to Revelation, and we see this beast with the 10 crowns right here. This is that kingdom that hasn't even formed yet when John is writing this. When John is writing this, the Roman Empire hasn't split up into the legs yet. It hasn't ended up forming into the feet of iron and clay. This is something in the future. Not to mention, there's a second beast, which these preterists don't even acknowledge, right? The first beast is not the one making the image and enforcing it on people. It's a second beast, a second kingdom that's coming up at the same time, that's getting everybody to worship an image of that beast right there, right? So in so many ways, these preterists are just dumb shits, because there's so many holes in the boat. It's just like a gigantic gash in the boat, and they're trying to take it out to sea, wanting you to get in the boat. It's like, but there's a gigantic hole. No, there's not. This already happened. Get in the boat. Nope. I'm good. You dumbass. Basically heading out to sea on some driftwood. Have fun with that. And they don't explain these things. All they do is keep saying the same thing. Nero was 666 and his mark was on the coin that everybody had to use. So, Caesar had his inscription on the coin, and Jesus took it and used it. No big deal. Said, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Right? I mean, these people just like grabbing onto something new and being like, yeah, I'm wise and smart, and I got this revelation that everybody else was just too stupid to see, and I'm going to reveal it to everybody. No, that's not what's happening here. So, if I get more comments from preterists and I talk in a condescending way, I don't care if you're offended. I really don't. You can piss and moan about it. It is what it is. Right? So, thanks for watching. Take care.